What's up? Happy Friday, everybody. That track right there was a track that I call Flavor in Your Ear. Kind of like the Craig Mack and the Biggie song, but I put Flavor in Your Ear 2010 and beyond. So, a lot of shit's going on. I'm gonna keep it kind of short today. PS5, but new design is out. A lot of people on the internet are excited, comparing the new Xbox and the PS5. I can give a fuck less. Moving on. The Chappelle special. Dave Chappelle just came out with a new special on YouTube. It's free. It's only a half hour long. Watch it. I recommend that motherfucker. If any Dave Chappelle special, this one is not one of his funniest, but it needed to be made. He was the perfect one to make it, to say it. It's amazing. On the internet, there's been an uproar about this soldier missing from Fort Hood, Texas. The U.S. Army, I think. Young, beautiful, strong Latina that they have not found as of yet. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm gonna double check this, but prior to her going missing, there was some arrests made at Fort Hood about by some arrest of sex traffickers. Now, there's a coincidence? I don't think so. So in March, earlier this year, 6 Fort Hood soldiers, 14 total, arrested in prostitution sting. 6 of the 12 traffickers are active duty enlisted soldiers at Fort Hood, according to the Temple Police Department. 2 women were arrested for prostitution, a Class A misdemeanor. They were also on probation for felony narcotic. In this same Fort Hood that these fuckers got arrested, now another girl goes missing. And I feel like those two things are connected. I don't know how or why. Hopefully we'll get some answers soon. When I saw Salma Hayek sharing it, I was like, man, what's she gonna do? She's just a celebrity, but it is good to get her as a big celebrity, get that it's a bigger, wider platform to let more people know, because nobody was really talking about it. Okay. A spike in COVID apparently has happened. I also think this is connected possibly to the fact that I guess it was the CDC or somebody approved certain protests, that they were only protesting certain things and it was okay. But if they were protesting, for instance, COVID, it was not okay. This article right here, sorry, I didn't mean to take. It's just it surprised me, because it says scientists accused of double standards on coronavirus and Black Lives Matter. So they didn't let some people protest, but if you were doing Black Lives Matter protests, then it was okay, which is odd, because supposedly a large portion of the Black community was already susceptible to it, supposedly. That a lot of people were. And, well, whether it's real or not, San Francisco just got closed. Right? Was it San Francisco? Let me double check. I just shared that shit. Because of a spike in COVID. Now, New York is down, right? But San Francisco. Oh, okay. Somebody told me this is old, so that's good. Oh yeah, from March. Damn. See, that's right there. Shows me we gotta be more careful when we share this shit, because sometimes the date on there, it may show up on your timeline as new, but the date is from 4 months ago. Okay, and then a story. Let me tell y'all a story today. So my mom was talking to my grandpa, her father, and he was telling her how, because he's Mexican from Mexico, when he was living in St. Louis, Missouri, the cops used to harass him and sometimes beat him up. And my grandma remembers her brother would be oh, sorry, I just saw some handprints on my window and I'm like, did I make those handprints? I guess I did. Oh yeah, my grandma would see her brother. He had patches missing from his head because the police would drag him from his hair. And so they would rip patches out and shit and just fucked him up. And they never arrested him. They would just beat him up. This is St. Louis, Missouri, 60s, 70s. Yeah, I don't know. So that's the main shit I need to cover. You know, a lot of shit's going on with the planets. I've been feeling weird these past couple of days. It's been a weird time. I think Mercury is in retrograde again. We all know how that went last time. It was an interesting time for most of us, as it is right now. So let me see. I took another. I know I wanted to talk about at least one or two more things. Oh yeah, I just found out Talib Kweli and Styles P are coming out. They just dropped a new album called The 7. Now I like tracks from Kweli. I never heard like a whole album. Styles P, the only album I had from him was A Gentleman and a Gangster, which I love. So I imagine that CD's gonna be fire. I'm gonna check that out, let y'all know about that. That's Talib Kweli, Styles P, The 7. I also wanted to share something from To Kill a Mockingbird that I saw on my timeline. This is a quote from Harper Lee. As you grow older, you'll see white men cheat black men every day of your life. But let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Whenever a white man does that to a black man, no matter who he is, how rich he is, or how fine a family he comes from, that man is trash. Don't fool yourselves. It's all adding up. One day, we're going to pay the bill for it. I see people arguing that, yeah, we got a racist bigot in the office, but we need to switch him out with the senile pervert. So, I mean, whatever. I don't know what's going to happen. Just keep in mind that the Electoral College has the last say. I'm not saying don't vote. I'm just saying don't be surprised. The only constant in life, the only thing that just remains constant is change. Change is the only constant. Change is the only thing that will always happen. Always. Most of us, like myself, are not comfortable with change. But a lot of times with change comes growth. A lot of times you don't gain without pain. Just like when you're working at your muscles, it's the same as your brain. The more pain sometimes it goes through, sometimes the stronger it gets. Sometimes it gets weaker. But that's where you gotta mind your intake from social media, from entertainment, the type of people you have around you. That is as much a part of your diet as food is. it'll affect your psyche for sure. Yeah, man, I'm praying for everybody, you know, as much as I can. I'm still halfway, like, should all this shit be happening for a reason? Is all this shit random? I still gotta explain to people online that when somebody says Black Lives Matter, they're not saying that all lives don't matter. They're just saying that some crooked cops act like Black lives don't matter. Just a reminder. There's a lot of crooked cops that don't believe any lives matter except for white lives. White supremacy. We got politicians that are white supremacists. The system was built on white supremacy. It's not going to go away anytime soon. There are changes being made that are for the positive. At the same time, there are changes not necessarily with race, but with other things that are changing that are for the negative. Protesting the kids in the cages, which is dope. But then there's the people who are saying, why don't we go riot? Well, there's military there, you know what I'm saying? Like actual fucking military with actual military training. That probably shoot is coming from a mile away. Like Andre 3 Stacks from Outkast said, we rapping, waving, bragging about gats, but they can shoot out our back from where they stay at. And he made that song before we even knew about Obama and his drones and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big reason why we just can't release the kids. Now I know there's protests going on in California, peaceful protests. That's dope. But we got to be wary, like what happened with the Black Lives Matter protests. There's agents, right? There's people that are putting bricks out there and shit. I saw videos of cops smashing windows. We got to be mindful of those tactics if we're going to be protesting for other reasons as well. You know, I realized what I was thinking was what the system is trying to do is pin poor against poor, because most police are poor compared to like the billionaires and the millionaires and the wealthy and shit, right? So they're trying to put us against each other when really if all the poor people combined our power, you know, we'd be able to actually make changes with the top. But if they keep separating us, people who think wearing masks is bullshit, and the people who think wearing masks is fine, they keep separating us by red and blue and Trump and Biden and Hillary, and any way that we can be separated with our differences is being thrown at us instead of realizing our similarities, you know. And of course, you know, there's gonna be people you cannot change, and there's people who are in our class but think that the upper class actually cares about them, so they will ride or die for those in the upper class that don't really care about them. But of course, there is, just like this lady on Facebook told me, you know, not all cops are bad, and I was like, well, no shit, but any bad cop, that's too many bad cops. This 77-year-old cop, retired captain, 77 years old, got shot in St. Louis, and somebody said, why is nobody protesting or riding for him? And I was like, well, the cops can protest. But the thing about it is, I looked into it, this is a 77-year-old retired captain who's working as a security guard. He goes to respond to a break-in, and he gets shot. So this has nothing to do with anything about the George Floyd and all that. So that's one thing. Second thing is, he shouldn't, if he was a 77-year-old retired captain, he should be financially stable enough to not have to work security. So that's one bullshit ass thing that nobody's talking about. They want to defund the police, and I understand that that's the departments, because the departments are similar to big businesses like Amazon and Microsoft. They don't, you know, they take the majority and give the workers pennies, basically, compared to what they're taking. So if and I've said this before and I'll say it again, if wealth was distributed, if society was built differently, even with capitalism, I mean, you can still have capitalism and still have well-paid teachers and police officers and firefighters. And the celebrities and the sports athletes that make millions and billions, if you cut off a couple million, they're gonna be all right. And the world's still gonna keep spinning, but greed runs it. Greed indeed. So let me put one more bow before I end this session real quick. Shout out to Ecto, because he made us some badass mugs for the Odd Pod podcast, which we'll be doing an episode of tomorrow. Yo, it's legit, boy. Look at that. The Odd Pod. The original podcast that gave me the inspiration to do the Friday podcast. Which I wasn't even going to do today, man. It's been a weird week, a weird day. But I felt like I should just get used to doing it. If I ever want this podcast, the famous Joe Rogan says the most important thing is just keep doing it. Stay on schedule, stay on task. I set Friday, I gotta do Friday, even if it's late. So fuck it, I don't know. Happy Friday. I really don't know about this whole Corona thing, but I just know that somebody that I know about my age has it now. That she went to the hospital and shit, and she wasn't wearing masks or anything like that when she was going out to the stores and shit. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. If women gotta wear bras, why don't we wear a bra on our face? So that's what it looks like. It's like a bra for our face. You know what I'm saying? It's fuck it. Just for a couple seconds, just even if older people and autoimmune deficiency are the ones that are more at risk, fuck it. Because if they try to lock us down again, boy, it's going to be an interesting turn of events. I do know that. Alright, I'm going to leave y'all with that. I hope y'all enjoyed. I know this episode was kind of serious and shit, but there's a lot of fucking serious shit going on. Next week, I'll try to get back to some of my crazy stories from my past. But other than that, man, peace, love, happiness, joy, meditate, elevate, appreciate. Peace.